Hello, I'd just like to say a big thank you to everybody who liked, commented and especially subscribed to my channel after my very first video. As you know, I was very nervous. It was mainly thanks to Lumdydums who gave me a shout out, and lots of her lovely followers and subscribers come over to say hello as she asked them to. So that was really nice and very welcomed. Hello, I'd just like to say a really big thank you to everybody who liked, commented and especially subscribed to my very first video and channel. I was blown away by the comments. Very, very lovely things to be said considering I was very nervous. Just really rambled on a little bit. So it's very kind of you to welcome me. It was obviously mainly thanks to Lisa as well, who gave me a shout out, and lots of lovely subscribers and followers of hers come on over and said hi. It was really nice to be able to see the people behind the computers, not just the accounts on the video itself, but the actual people commenting, following and saying really lovely things. It was really welcomed, and it did make me kind of settle in a little bit because I was petrified. Just having the camera there and chatting to it like this is quite a bizarre thing to do, really. It doesn't come very naturally. You're kind of by yourself, just chatting away. God knows what people think when they can hear or see you doing it, especially on my first one, when I was just sat in the car, people was walking by or driving by, pulling up next to me, and I'm just chatting away to a camera. So it's quite bizarre, really. This video is also about, I suppose, I wanted you to kind of get to know a little bit more about me, as you've been so lovely and you want to follow the journey. So it's only fair that I tell you a little bit more about myself. So as you know, my name's Corran, my husband's name is Chris, and we have two very lovely little dogs, Millie and Milo. They're both asleep because we've just got back from my parents' house and they've been running around with their two chihuahuas, so they get very exhausted. I'll just try and get them. 2 seconds. Millie, come on. Good, baby. This is Millie, who I've just had to drag out of bed. She's feeling very sleepy, aren't you? Millie is, oh, she can see another dog. Oh. What are you doing? Millie is a Chihuahua cross. We don't know what she's crossed with. She was a rescue dog, and originally I believe she was come from gypsies. So everyone says she looks like a little deer and a little fox, so she could be a little crossbreed with a fox. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you for the kisses. Well, I'll put her back to bed, and she is so lovely. So that's Millie, and I'll get Milo. Ooh, she can see dogs. Shush, shush, shush. And then where's Milo? Hello. Oh. And then this is Milo. Milo is a... Oh, you okay with me? No, naughty. Milo is a miniature Jack Russell cross Chihuahua, a Jackawawa. Milo can see another dog right now, so they're both getting a bit gobby. We live right on the seafront, so lots of people walk their dogs, and when they see them, they're not best pleased. And he's very sleepy. Go on then. So they're obviously a very large part of our life. They're very lovely little dogs. They get a little bit noisy sometimes when you see other dogs, but apart from that, they're fantastic. So it's important for you to meet them. You will meet Chris very shortly, who's my husband. Also, eventually, like I said, I would really like you to get to meet my surrogate as well. When and if she feels confident enough. I know I was scared, so she might be as well. But in order for you to be able to follow the journey really from the beginning to the end, you need to meet all the important people involved. And she is one of them. We live in West Sussex on the south coast. So we're right on the beach, and it's really, really lovely. Lots of lovely daylight, even at this time in the evening, which is great for the dogs. So they like to go out on the balcony and get lots of sea views and air, and sometimes have a little bark at the other dogs that they don't like the look of. So a little background on our surrogate. Her name is Kaylee, and she has a lovely 6-year-old daughter as well, who's beautiful. They live about 1.5 hours away, so it's not too far at all, which is really great because it was important for us to be quite close, and it wasn't just an arrangement of we'll pay your expenses, thank you, and have a baby. It was a case of that we really wanted to become friends, and she was doing it for all the right reasons, and we meet up and have dinner, and it's something we really want to continue doing. So we've built it on a friendship basis, which is fantastic, and it's so lovely. We never wanted to be those couples that meet their surrogate at the inseminations and then say the first scan, the midwife's appointment, and then perhaps even just at the birth. That was never how we wanted it to be. We wanted it to be really kind of informal and friendly, which it has been. And it was important for her as well to have that deal. Neither of us wanted it to be that cold. So that was really, really nice. And it's one of the first things we agreed on. So only living 1.5 hours away drive is perfect. It means we can go down, we do every appointment, see her and her daughter, and hopefully, you know, we might even get to see some of her other family as well, which would be lovely, because I know our surrogate and her family, some of her family watch this as well. So it'd be really lovely to meet you in person. We met about, I'm trying to think now, perhaps a month or two ago. Sorry, my memory's not great. So we're very new to meeting her, and we both said, even though we didn't admit it, we knew instantly that each other was the right person. So she knew when she was talking to us, and we knew when we were talking to her, definitely. I was like madly shaking. It was through Facebook that we actually met. And I was just like, I said to Chris, I'm talking to a surrogate and she's absolutely fantastic, like too good to be true. And I'm just like this, shaking, and I was shaking the whole day. And it wasn't until obviously a few weeks after that, and even after we'd met in person, that we'd agreed to then formally match. One of the other things we agreed on as well was the fact that she wanted as natural as possible birth can be. So not quite as extreme as a home birth, but what we both agreed on was if you didn't want very much interruption or too much medical assistance, if necessary, then a water birth within the confines of a medical environment like a hospital would have been perfect. So she would like, at this moment in time, a water birth within a hospital, just obviously to protect her and the baby should anything go wrong. You know what it's like, it doesn't always go to plan. However, we can make a birth plan. Whether we'll stick to it or not is another thing. It's all down to the day, I suppose. We can make as many plans as we want. We could make, you know, plan A, B and C, and it might go neither of those ways. So I suppose all we can do is try to prepare. But that's another thing we agreed on, which was quite important. And it seemed like the more and more we talked, the more and more we agreed on all the same points. One of the main things to agree on is what to do, or the circumstances which it is acceptable for an abortion to take place. Now for us, one of her first questions was, what would you do if it had a disability, e.g. let's say Down syndrome? We said that there is no circumstance which we would ask you to abort the birth. To us, disabilities are not a problem. We want a child at the end of the day, and it's what we want most in this world. And to us, it does not matter whether they are disabled or completely enabled. It really makes no odds. We will love that child no matter what. And it was important on my behalf that the surrogate also felt the same way, because I didn't want someone who was necessarily shallow enough to go, oh well, they've got Down syndrome, that's a good enough reason to abort this baby, because for me, that is not a good enough reason personally. And she agreed with that, which was fantastic. There was lots of obviously other things to cover as well, which we agreed on around the abortion. The one thing we agreed on, which I kind of said, I think, to be honest, the only acceptable circumstance for an abortion would be if it is risking the life of her, then that would be the only time that perhaps that would be called for. But apart from that, there was no other reasons. Obviously, one of the other important things for most people to consider is money. So if you're looking into this and you're quite new to it, even if your surrogate has quite low costs, because obviously you're not allowed to pay a surrogate, you're allowed to pay reasonable expenses. So that's really her expenses. That could be anything from extra food to even a cleaner, and obviously her time off work and childcare costs as well. So even if you get a surrogate with, say, a low paid job or no job, even with that little bit out of the way, the costs are still going to be fairly high for a normal couple who have either no savings or little savings. So make sure those are in place first, because you can't expect someone to do it for nothing, because they would quite literally lose money themselves. And that's a situation obviously you can't allow that person to get themselves into. So make sure you are responsible enough to ensure you have money ready to do the surrogacy process. There's not really a figure you can put on it. It's completely dependent on the surrogate's lifestyle and her job. If she's got a low paid job, then obviously the cost will be quite substantially lower, and if she's got one child, it'll be lower again. If she's got, say, 5 children and quite a high paid job, that's a little bit different. Obviously you have the childcare cost on top and her time off work to cover as well. So that's something else to take into account. Like I said, there's not really a figure you can put on it. However, from doing a lot of the research myself, the figures kind of go from £7,000 to £15,000. That's a very general estimate. I know a friend who's paying £12,000. I think that's somewhere in the region of being kind of normal. So there's a little ballpark figure for you, but it's completely dependent on the surrogate herself. This was mainly just to kind of say thank you so much to everyone and to let you get to know me that little bit better. I feel a little bit more confident now. I'm still very nervous. This is about the 8th time I've tried to record this clip. I'm not even joking. God knows what all the other clips look like, but I've just deleted them all so I don't even have to watch, because I am sick of hearing my own voice. iMovie takes about 3 hours to save a video once you've edited it. Now editing takes about 2 hours in itself, and then recording on top. So it's quite a timely process, but now I know it's valued by everyone and people are truly interested. It really makes me want to carry on. Those subscriptions really do mean so much to me, because it really shows me that people genuinely want to follow the journey. It's really lovely to hear people say I'm really interested and I really want to follow the journey, but it's very hard to do that if you're not subscribed, because you won't get any of the alerts, or when you log onto YouTube you won't be able to see any of the new videos if you're not subscribed. So that it really means a lot if you do. Your comments were so lovely, so that was just great. Thank you so much, and the likes especially was lovely. As I mentioned, I was going to set up a email. The email address is here. It is IntendedParentsUK@gmail.com, and I've just set up a very new Facebook group. It's a closed Facebook group, so people will be able to see you joining the group. However, anything you post within the group is completely private. Anything you speak about or say is completely private too. So people who are non-members will not be able to see that. So do add yourself to the group and I will accept you. It's a great way to be able to get to talk to me personally as well. The group name is here, and it is just, again, Intended Parents UK. No spaces at all. Just how you say it. So I look forward to talking to you, and hopefully one day there could be, I know there's a few surrogacy groups which actually have meetups in person, and even though my surrogate might not be in that group, it'd be really lovely to come along, just talk, meet people. I love just to kind of talk and natter on, as you can probably tell. So once again, thank you so much, and I will try and post videos weekly, and if not more regularly than that. So thank you so much, and bye bye.